three women who came by yesterday and asked to talk to me were Korean, and one of the women that writes for our magazine, and the other woman, she was just talking about how to make time in her life for her practice, and she decided to enter into the nursing profession at a later age, and then she found out that doing that required her to lie. It was surprising to hear that she couldn't. She was just asked by the management to just kind of lie about things that she charted and dealt with, and that it wasn't really patient-oriented, but institution-oriented. And so she quit her job, was trying to figure out what to do, and wasn't sure if she could actually be a nurse and not have to break that precept. And so I thought that was very valiant. That was very beautiful to hear, that she wants to figure out how to maximize how much time she can engage with formal practice a day, and then also keep the precepts as well as possible. And that's her priority. That's what her priority is. And living in a monastery can be kind of just sort of second nature to think about the ways that we engage with the Buddhist teachings, and sort of to a certain degree, sila comes second nature. We have each other. We're holding each other up in a way, and when we make a mistake, we even need to tell each other when we've done that, if it regards breaking a small precept or a big precept, either way. And we do pujas, and we encourage each other in our practice, and just any of us going back to our kutis and seeing that, it's very encouraging for us. So we're all kind of moving in the same direction, but yet we can get easily pulled back just by our own tendencies, our karmic baggage that we carry through our lives, that we're trying to uproot and change. So karma means action, and then whenever we do an action, we have the result of that. This is vipaka. So even living in a monastery, it's not always easy to have that intention all the time, and we lose mindfulness, we lose our intention towards doing certain things that we think are important for us, and sometimes they can fall by the wayside. So really, I find that both the monastic life or non-monastic, just following the Buddhist teachings, it's just kind of always working with just very small habits, and always kind of catching ourselves, we're moving in a direction that isn't helpful for us, and then kind of getting ourselves back on track. And it's just like doing that over and over and over and over again. And it seems so simple. This is a simple life, but yet it is one of the hardest things to do, just because the tendency is to move towards the defilements. The tendency for many of us, until practice has really become incredibly solidified, is just kind of to go the way of the defilements. And so sometimes we can just overlook small things that we do. Today I'm not going to eat as much, or I'm going to try to be more on time, and I'm going to come earlier to something, or whatever it might be, where we see something, and then sometimes in the mind it can be like, nah, it's all right, tomorrow or later. And these accumulated behaviors, they seem so small, but they just make such an incredible, they form such a paramount part of what we're doing, and are getting ourselves to move into wholesomeness. So when we want to say something to somebody that we know is not going to benefit either them or us, and then but we have that hesitation, well, I really want to say this. And then we refrain from doing that. It's such a huge victory. Any time that we just kind of keep seeing that we're going to move in the way of, greed, hatred, or delusion, any kind of sense of fear or aversion or whatever it might be, that when we keep getting ourselves kind of back on track, like almost like a train that's on tracks, and then, it falls off all the time, but we just keep putting it back, and we don't stop. It just really, that's all the practice really is in the end. It's just putting one wholesome action in front of another, until that train starts to kind of get its own momentum, and then it's more difficult to stop until one day it's just like it has its own momentum. It's like a train going downhill, and it just can't do anything else other than that. And so our accumulated habits, all of the little good things we're doing, they really do add up. They really do take us to Nibbana if we keep having faith and just keep putting one wholesome action in front of the next. And then the pleasant aspect of that is that over time, then it does become easier. Wholesome becomes easier. The sense of doing the right thing, expressing kindness or looking to help another, or knowing when it's not the right thing for us to do, and we do what's actually wholesome. That really just becomes easier and easier as we keep moving along in that direction. But we have to be very careful, because the mind can be quite convincing to suggest, nah, I'm too tired, or it's too much effort, or I'd rather not. And then it just moves us in that direction. It's sort of a reverse locomotive. So we just start going in the wrong direction. So just this is an encouragement to keep going, to really see, it doesn't have to be these grandiose ways that we're kind of taking on the Buddha's teachings, but just one small wholesome action in front of the next creates that momentum. And I think that's where all beings who have realized Nibbana, they all have worked in that particular way.